Welcome back, episode 13 of Revisited. I'm just saying 13. I really don't know what episode it is.
Lazy.
It's not about laziness. It's about I have never really known what episode it is, and I'm not going to go search. I'm not going to be disingenuous and start searching out the numbers and go, yeah, we're episode 13. Screw y'all. No, I don't know what number it is. I believe it is because I think 11 and 12 were both Oceanus. So I'm going to go with 13. Another SuperEyePatchWolf video. It's really starting to get a bit troublesome.
We needed to get to this because Hunter x Hunter is fading from my memory fast.
You say that until he says something and you go, what the? No!
I will never be as passionate as I am about a week ago.
So we're doing his Why You Should Watch Hunter x Hunter. We probably will do Why You Still Should Watch Hunter x Hunter at some point in the future. After that, we're pretty much done with Hunter x Hunter.
There's no real other ones because people just accept it. Like, yep, it is.
I mean, yeah.
It's amazing, and everybody just accepts this.
Yeah, they really do. So this is probably going to be the last one, at least for a little while. Or the next one is going to be the last one for at least a little while. Yeah.
Episode 12. 13, no. Episode 13.
Woo! Your boy.
I thought you didn't care enough to check, but you care enough to gloat?
Correct. Now imagine the impact if some sound had started.
Average. This was my initial impression after viewing the first 3 episodes of the 2011.
Can I also say this video was 4 years ago, so it's one of his.
This is his first.
This is his first video.
Very first.
Woo, that's interesting.
Hunter x Hunter, based on a manga the same name written by Yoshiro Tagashi. I enjoyed the high production values and charming characters, but beyond that it seemed like the same old cookie cutter shonen formula I'd seen 100 times before.
What?
So how did my
It's
opinion
gonna
of
be
the show
different.
shift from well made but average to holy shit, this is one of the greatest things I have ever fucking seen? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today, so let's begin my video that I like to call Why You Should Watch Hunter x Hunter. Some minor warnings here. For this review, I'm going to be specifically referring to the 2011 anime as opposed to the manga or the 1999 anime adaptation. I will be avoiding major spoilers, but I am going to be discussing the world and characters at length, so minor spoilers may occur.
Pause.
So, first off,
He's gonna have to explain Nin.
Dude, this is sad, but I've done a lot of research into Nin. I've done a lot of research into contracts.
And what did it yield?
Yin is just basically spirit energy. So, Gon and Killua's teacher, the first dude that taught them Nin, who opened it up, people believe that that's what happened with the Chimera Ants. But they're not Nin teachers. So I don't see how that would open anything up.
If
And
you
it's
just get
also
hit, then you just open it.
no, that's not how it works.
And nobody ever's been hit before.
That's
with
not how
a
it
Nin
works.
User just
And
there it is.
it's also a very dangerous process. If you have even any ill intent, it's a very dangerous process. You could literally be killed by it.
And Hisoka knew that when he fought Gon, Killua, Leorio, all in the first arc. He knew that. He knew that I'm gonna punch them with absolutely zero Nin.
So,
And
as far
everybody
as-
who has Nin went zero Nin.
as far as contracts, until they learn Nin, everybody has Nin. Just everybody. But as far as contracts, it's basically your resolve. It's basically the strength of your will. Unlocks things in you, and then you have to offset it with some type of rule. That's basically what it is. I don't know.
That was a lot of research that you did
For-
to come up with that.
To come with essentially nothing. Essentially what I had before.
But what about the people that don't need rules? Like Killua,
What does he not need rules for?
Godspeed, electricity.
No. But he went through the training for that.
Okay.
All the hitting electricity. Contracts are just a quick power up, but you need a rule to offset it.
Okay.
So if Karapika had went through all that training, he could probably use it against everybody as opposed to just them. But he wanted a quick power up, so he needed a. And
Okay,
because
but
his will was so strong, but at the
but
same
you
time,
want a quick power up, so that means that your will to train isn't so strong.
it's not about will to train. It's
No.
about will for the whatever you need the contract for.
So all you need to do is just wish for it, and you get it. It's not about wish. It's not about will at all. It's just I want this thing.
But it depends on how badly you want it. How much
You don't want it badly enough to train.
You need it quickly though. Gone
So it's not.
just,
Is it a want or a need?
you need it quickly, but you want the power.
And you don't want to train.
It's not that you don't want to train. You can't train in the time that you need to get the thing. Kurapika could not beat those people without going through a contract. He needed power immediately. Gon needed power immediately against Pito. He
We have
needed
those
that
two
power.
instances.
Those are only 2 contracts I know.
I mean, I guess crossbow, dude. But was that a contract? I don't think so.
Yeah, no. One had to be a contract because his the contract was if he lost, he could never use that power again.
But then he just went, I'm gonna go get another one from this dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
He specifically said from this dude.
It has to. I don't know.
Where were your research? What happened?
I researched contracts and I researched NID. I didn't research the everybody's individual contracts. Because there's only 2 prominent contracts in the series, though. The Cheetah dude, who gives a shit? But Killua doesn't get one. Leorio doesn't get one.
So lame.
Yes, absolutely. It's terrible.
That's an arrow. The stand arrow. That's all it is, and it's awful.
Essentially.
May occur. So, first off, my initial impression of Hunter x Hunter was that of a lot of people. It seemed fine, but average, typical to this kind of shonen anime.
Exactly.
The characters were fun, but seemed like nothing new or especially
characters
interesting.
are fun, I would
Gon
say
was
that.
an anime boy.
No, what? Go on, man.
I always hated Leorio.
Yes, no. Put Leorio to the side. Go on and Killua are fun. And those are the main characters.
What about Kurapika? He's
He's
a brr.
Yeah, he's a bruh. And then he's out 80% of the series. So, what? Go on and Killua. They're fun. And they're the main ones, so, yeah.
Who tries hard, Killua was a nice Vegeta, Leorio was Lupin III for some reason, and Kurapika is a non-threatening boy for people who like non-threatening boys. On top of that, the plot setup felt standard, and I felt pretty sure I knew where the story was going. And that's where I, like a lot of people, were dead fucking wrong. The main thing to keep in mind here is Hunter x Hunter is not a
So wait, is the series good because it subverted people's expectation of just being a typical shonen? Is that literally the only reason it's good? Because we expected it to be this thing, but it wasn't this thing?
That's what it sounded like.
Who?
But does that automatically equal good? I don't know. No, absolutely not. Because I hate Monica. Because everybody's just like it's a normal magical girl show, and then all of a sudden it gets mad dark. I go, okay, but it's
So
not
what?
good. It's dark, but it's not good.
And
How about do both?
Again,
Or how about do one really good?
this is feeling more like it's dark, so it's good. I think Hunter x Hunter hit right at the right time because that's right around the time of Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, and everybody was thinking like dark equals good, and I'm sure the Chimera Ants arc was right around that time, so it hit them right when it needed.
anime. Well, not strictly at least. More accurately, it's a deconstructionist shonen anime.
This is the second time we've heard about
way.
deconstruction. I'm glad that this is just the beginning and he can explain all this, but this is the second time we've heard about the deconstruction of what a shonen anime or shonen series is. And Gon was not deconstructed by being a piece of crap. He was just being a piece of crap. And Killua is just growing as a character.
But even if it was a deconstruction, again, does that mean that it's good? You can slap anything in deconstruction. You can have a fighting game, but also turn it into a shooter. And like, it's a deconstruct. Does that mean that it's good? Does that mean it is well implemented? Don't just say it's a deconstruction and automatically people just go, yes, so it is of quality.
This is the thing. People, it's concept versus execution. And the concept is good enough for people to go, this is amazing, ignoring how it was executed. That's why you get so many people that love things like Batman v Superman, where it's just like, don't you want to live in a world where, isn't it a very interesting idea how the real world would react to a Superman? Yes, it is a very interesting idea, but how was it executed? But it's really cool idea. Yes, absolutely. But how was it executed? And it's the same thing for something like Hunter x Hunter. And I'm sorry to bring this up. It's the same thing for Part 5. The concept of fate is what people really love about it.
And then they just go fate.
As opposed to the execution. The concept of what Diablo is what people love. As opposed to who Diablo is as a character. The concept of Giorno is what appeals to people. As opposed to him just being a terrible character. And that's what it is. Concept versus execution.
What do I mean by this? Well, let me explain. When a medium or genre is around for long enough, it goes through a period of deconstruction, where artists take the established elements or building blocks of a genre or medium and then actively work backwards, essentially restructuring how that genre or medium works, typically to make a commentary on said medium or for the purpose of pushing the boundaries of what said medium can achieve. Once an art has been around for long enough, it builds up a particular rule set, and after a certain period of stagnation, people will actively try and tear that rule set apart.
I don't think shonen has ever been stagnant. I don't think you've ever had a 10-year period of Dragon Ball Series X. Mm-hmm. I don't get it.
Yeah, if like Naruto was coming out alongside Dragon Ball, I would say it, but
like if it was just right afterwards, like this year 2 Dragon Ball Z Naruto.
Yeah, but you know, Yu-Gi-Oh is a form of shonen, and that's completely different. Yu episode 1, he dies, and he's like, well, you need to be a better person now because you're a sack of garbage. Unlike most shonen protagonists of the time. Even Fist of the North Star, that's more seinen, but I'd still say shonen. That's the desolate wasteland, and JoJo it changes from part to part to part. What is this set shonen thing that what power ups and friendship and fight villain? What is this that is being deconstructed?
Yeah, I really don't understand it.
Building on it further, and thus deconstruction occurs. To bring things back into context a little, let's take a look at two of the most famous examples of deconstructionism in anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion and Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica.
Wow, 2 series we don't like. I'll be fair to Evangelion. I'm not a mech person, so I've never personally seen it. I just don't like it because it's mech.
I like magical girls and dark, but this was just, it wasn't good. That's all. That's all.
But again, this is another subverting your expectations thing.
And thus people just go, oh, it was, and then it was this. So that it doesn't matter about characters, themes, plot, story, nothing. All it was is I can point to it and go, it changed. And thus it means no.
Essentially, it's like deceptive marketing for trailers. Like if something, there's a movie called Downsize starring Matt Damon, and the trailers make it seem very like romantic comedy, like he's living his whole life like it's but no, it's about socialism and racism and immigration and world issues, and it's a really dark, slow paced movie. But the trailers made it seem so. The people that go into it aren't like, wow, this really subverted the romantic comedy trope, and now it's really good. People hated that movie because they didn't get the movie they wanted in the trailers. For people that wanted a good magical girl show, they probably hated Madoka because they didn't get a good magical girl show. They got, oh, it's a magical girl show, but really it's just dark stuff.
Can I say Team America has so ruined Matt Damon for me? It's
Matt Damon.
so bad.
Matt Damon.
As soon as you said it, I had to stop myself from going, Matt. But yeah, I will never understand that. I will never.
I also am interested to see how Hunter x Hunter relates to that, because I can see it from Madoka. You think it's this shiny magical girl show, but it's actually
But then
a
it
dark
just gets
show.
dark.
Yeah,
It's just like Hunter x Hunter.
but no. There's dark shonen. There's shonen that get dark. That means nothing.
No.
Dragon Ball killed kids.
Those kids can kill adults.
Yeah, but
But then these girls can beat monsters and witches and things like that.
So I don't.
Well, let's see his argument.
Both these shows exist directly as statements formed from what came before them. Evangelion exists because Gundam was a thing. Madoka exists because shows like Sailor Moon and Cardcaptor Sakura happened. But rather than expanding on the source materials ever so slightly like other shows of the same genre, Evangelion and Madoka are direct responses, even criticisms to their forebears. In Evangelion's case, it made piloting giant robots a dark and traumatic affair, and something to be feared, as well as making the protagonist selfish and reluctant, and had the characters break down over the course of the season rather than becoming stronger and gaining conviction. In Madoka's case, on the other
Hold on. So it literally just built on what mech shows did before.
But in the opposite way.
No, it's just
Instead of them becoming more courageous, they become more scared.
that's not a deconstruction.
Yeah. No, but it is so.
No, it's not, because you're not tearing down the genre. You're just going, what if we made a mech show, but it actually hurt the people to pilot mechs? You didn't deconstruct the genre.
I'm not arguing with this. You gonna get some comments, not me. I don't.
That's absolutely
I
fine.
understand and accept and love Eva. As a matter of fact,
That
Team Oscar.
to this day, I don't know the main character's name.
Shinji,
Shinji? Okay.
Shinji, Rei, and
Oh,
Asuka.
I know Asuka and Rei. I just didn't know Shinji.
Yeah.
In Madoka's case, on the other hand, it swaps out practically all the joyous conventions of the magical girl genre and focuses on the sacrifice the girls must make in order to gain their magical powers, and unbalances it to an absurd degree, trapping its characters in a world of terror and nihilism. Both these shows were extremely...
No.
Oh, you're gonna get some comments.
No, I don't care. They showed that girl who just died. They showed her choice in a flashback, what was maybe a minute. One of the girls, we never see the choice of her being a magical girl. She just said, "I want it to be," and then that's all. That's literally all she says. One of them we don't see because it doesn't really matter. We don't see her, but there's only one that's really important to that we see her journey. All the other ones are just like, hey, bitch became, and it's dark. That's all it is. He didn't say anything about the plot, the story, nothing. He just went subversion. But all it was, I really don't like Monica, because all it is, it's a bunch of just sitting around in the room and just going, do it, because it's like a little Palpatine sort of thing. Who's behind the scenes, just going, don't you want to be a magical girl? Because once you become a magical girl, if you use too much power, you become a witch, and then more magical girls fight them, and then they become witches, and it's just a never-ending cycle. And it's just sitting around just going, oh, what is to become human and evil and monsters and witches and and it's just a bunch of sitting around. And then there's a fight, and then it's time travel. Loves me some time travel. And then it just ends.
Did you ever finish that time travel show?
ReZero?
Yeah, ReZero.
Yes, I did.
How was it?
It was not of quality.
Well, all right.
Oh, we're going to get so many comments.
Not
Yo,
all.
ReZero was not good. I'll do this. I'm not touching Ava. One, I don't know, and two, them fans are nuts.
Yeah. For all I know, Ava is really, really, really good. It's mech, and I just cannot get into mechs.
ReZero was not good. Madoka is not good.
revitalizing their respective genres, bringing new ideas.
It didn't
No, it
revitalize
didn't.
because how many how many magical girl shows did you see afterwards?
I was just about to say that. And even if it did revitalize it, all they're going to do is cute and then dark. How does that revitalize it? All that is doing is creating copycats.
And how many more mech shows came after Ava? That as opposed to before? Like, was it a surplus of mech shows because it revitalized the genre? Or was it just a steady stream as always, and then you got a large gap of nobody really doing anything big mech-wise, and then some other big mech show is going to come around? Is it just doing what it's always doing?
And if it did revitalize it, as you said, why is nobody talking about X Magical Girl show like they talk about Madoka? Because all it is just there's more Magical Girl show, and people talk about this because it's the dark and then the light thing, but nothing ever else has come up to that level. There's people go like, don't be people in wrestling like I don't want to be the next Ric Flair. I want to be the next me.
Yeah.
No,
I want
else,
the next person to say I'm gonna be the next.
Nothing else is the next Madoka. It's always going back to Madoka. So it revitalized nothing.
And again, how many popular magical girl shows are there right now, or in the past 10 years? Because I think Madoka was 2011,
Something like that.
So yeah, in the past 10 years, how many magical girl shows can you point to and go, that was a really good and popular magical girl show? What did it revitalize?
Kill la Kill, maybe, but I like Kill la Kill, y'all. Don't fight me.
In perspective to tired and tested formulas. These open their genres up for further deconstruction also, and I would argue that a show like Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann could be seen as a response to Evangelion in the same way Eva was a response to Gundam and its ilk. Shows like the...
No, it just feels like everybody builds upon what they had before. And it's not... Deconstruction is tearing it down. These things didn't tear down the magical girl genre. They just expanded in a they did the magical girl genre in a different way. What about the humanization of getting your powers and the dark things you have to do to get them?
You don't have to do anything dark.
Oh my god, then why not?
Is this kind of like as you're about to die, or when you really, really want it, a little cat thing will appear and go, you want to be a magical girl?
And for Ava, I can't really talk to it, but again...
But I think it's more, I think he speaks more on the formula of, like he said, the happy-go-lucky magical girls, and then it's just not, and then it's just a dark world.
Here's the thing.
But then again, all the Sailor Scouts died on screen.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Cabin in the Woods, the writer, director, they said it was a love and hate letter to horror movies. It is a deconstruction of horror movies. Why would a girl drop a knife just because the killer's on the ground? Oh, because there was a small electrical shock. It's a deconstruction of the horror genre. They go through all the tropes and they go, why would this person do this? Why would this person do this? Oh, because we pumped the room full of pheromones. Oh, because we put something in their hair dye. That's a deconstruction. This doesn't...
As opposed to just taking one aspect of it and then just flipping it on his head.
Yes, that's not a deconstruction.
Mechs are happy to pilot. No, actually, they're a lot painful and they give you a lot of trauma.
Magical girls are super bright and shiny and happy, and they are just, and oh no, actually, it's some dark stuff there. That's not a deconstruction.
No, that's just taking one thing and flipping it. We're making good time.
These push the medium forward and are important to anime staying interesting and relevant, and to keep it from becoming a vehicle with which just to sell merchandise, which is definitely a trend I think I would like to see less of. So how does...
All things are made to make money.
Yes.
Merchandise, commercials, syndication.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
You're not giving TV shows away for free. You're being paid to make it. The love of it, sure. Miyazaki, I'm sure he loves or he loved making anime, but it is just money, just profit. Don't
Once
act
the
like
money
it's
starts
not.
rolling in, it's just like we need more, we need more, we need more.
Is there a purpose? I have never seen Gurren Lagann. I've edited it, but is there a purpose for the little mole rat kid thing on the kid's head? That looks like just a thing for kids to buy. It looks like just a marketing thing.
Star Wars is a just merchandise machine. They create entire races just to sell to people. And this isn't, don't go, this is the sequel trilogy. No, this is the original trilogy. The Ewoks were created simply for, am I thinking Ewoks? The little ones?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Ewoks are created just to sell to children. Like, and a series, just because a series is made to make merchandise doesn't mean it needs to be bad.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Like to see less of. So how does Hunter x Hunter qualify as deconstructionist? Well, let's start by taking a look at one of the most central concepts of any anime, that of the protagonist. Arguably, one of the most telling
that
aspects
Fruity
of
Loop
any
drum?
anime will be the protagonist. What I mean by telling here is the relationship the show tries to create between viewer and protagonist will often reveal the show's true intentions. What I mean by true intentions is how is the protagonist trying to make the viewer feel. For example, is it a character piece like Madoka Magica, an exploration in psychology like Psychopaths, or a power fantasy like Dragon Ball Z? The power fantasy is by far the most dominant show within the shonen anime. Power fantasies are so prevalent that I would say that 95% of shonen anime falls under this umbrella. And with good reason, power fantasies are fun, enjoyable escapism, and
I wouldn't go that far. Power fantasy is like the Hulk Hogan's of wrestling. Just because AJ Styles is not a power fantasy of wrestling. JoJo was a power fantasy. It's just big, strong muscle men. Dragon Ball is strictly about training, getting stronger. Well, Dragon Ball Z is training, getting stronger, big muscle men doing big muscle men things.
But couldn't you say Hunter x Hunter is the same? If there's a world of infinite abilities, you can go, oh, I wonder what my ability would be.
Here's the thing. Does he mean power fantasy as in superpowers? Or does he mean power fantasy as in strong people doing strong things?
I think it's that one.
Okay, then. So, like, comics are power fantasy. Some comics. Superman is a power fantasy.
Hunter
Batman
Hunter is a power fantasy. How about that? How about we chill out for a second and go back to that?
fun, enjoyable escapism, and let us feel in control of supernatural situations entirely outside the bounds of our own daily lives. But when you look at the protagonists of the big shonen power fantasies, you start to see a pattern. Goku, Luffy, Naruto, Natsu, they all have one thing in common. They all have some unique trait that gives them an unfair advantage over their enemies. Goku was born a powerful Saiyan.
What? Unfair advantage? He has such a mid-tier devil fruit.
Dude, Luffy's devil fruit.
Luffy
is
would
not
be
great.
like, if Luffy wasn't Luffy, he'd be the eat food like a 30 million berry bounty. He'd just be another bum. Buggy is broken.
He is broken.
But he's not Luffy, so he's not training, he's not applying himself. He's just like, well, I got a devil fruit, so I can just do these dumb things.
Dude, Croc is dumb as Crocodile is dumb as What's he at, like 80? Because he's not doing nothing.
So don't just... Unfair advantage. No, he's not a Logi or anything.
Plus, just about everybody on the sea has swords, and that's his weakness. Anything sharp.
Goku saying, fine, that's 100%.
Yes, he was born strong. If he gets hurt enough, he instantly doubles, triples his power.
He eats and gains strength, he sleeps and gains strength. That's fine.
Naruto.
Natsu. Oh, go ahead, Naruto.
Naruto. He has the demon fox in him. Unfair advantage. He's just dumping loads of chakra. He's not good. He's just unloading mounds of chakra into his abilities.
Natsu, Fire Dragon. Not really an unfair ability because there's like
there are dragon slayers.
9, 10 other ones. So doesn't really matter
And
because
it's not like he slayed the mystical dragon when he was a kid.
and it's not like he is, nor was he ever the strongest in the series.
He was getting mollywopped by Urza all throughout. Like,
So we're looking at Goku, which again is not really an unfair advantage because there's other Saiyans who can contest him. There's other people in the world that can contest him. Jiren is just strong because he's strong, not because he's a Saiyan, not because because he trained legitimately. So he doesn't have a quote unquote unfair advantage because if he did, he would be so much more above everyone. But he's constantly struggling.
and Gon walked into that Hunter exam as one of the strongest contenders off rip. What is his? How did he get that strong? Is it just training on an island, whatever? But he walked in with an advantage normal hunter prospects did not have.
Luffy ate the Gum Gum fruit, Naruto has the Fox Chakra, Natsuo was raised by a dragon, the list goes on. The reason for this is
The list stops there. Really, later on in the series, we learned Yusuke is half demon. But before that, what advantage did Yusuke have? He could fire his spirit gun like 3 times in a day when he first started out.
And that was it.
That was it for him. He had to use his ingenuity. He's facing 2 super strong demons, and it's just like, stick in your mouth, spirit gun. He ain't, oh, there's the mirror. I just got to shoot it. I got lucky.
JoJo, Joseph did not have an unfair advantage until he got Hamon, and even then, Hamon is an instant win against a vampire.
Jonathan,
did I say Joseph?
you said Joseph.
Jonathan, it's an instant win against a vampire, but yet he still gets maimed. Zeppeli gets murdered even though he has the unfair advantage. So it's not just an instant, I have this thing and therefore I am better. You gotta apply it correctly.
obvious. The writers want the characters to be kicking ass from episode 1, and so essentially
Luffy was goofily beating a bunch of nobodies in Alvita. The second he ran into some problem, which was Croc, he got ran through. Bomb rushed. Buggy almost killed him.
Mihawk, if he was a quarter of the way serious, could have beheaded him.
If he went, nah, and just killed all the Straw Hats right there,
It had just been over.
it would have just been over. Luffy could have did nothing there.
Kuro, he wasn't in control of his slices, so he could have easily just beheaded Luffy right there.
If he was fast enough with
If he was fast enough, if he would have taken a step to the right, anything. Again, Gon was out there lapping fools in the Hunter exam. He did not really go up against any kind of struggle until Hisoka.
see how these characters exist to be vessels of power for the viewer by being the toughest guy
How can you show you? Legitimately.
He was murdered.
Later on, sure, but later on, gone too. What are you talking about? What's the difference? Wolf?
in the room. They allow us to feel like the toughest guys in the room. And again, like, no judgment, this is escapism. There's absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying that. However, the problem here is when every shonen anime has this kind of Superman in waiting protagonist. You only have to watch a few shows before characters and plots start to feel tired and redundant. And that brings us to Gon, the energetic and exuberant hero of Hunter x Hunter. But before we dive into what Gon is, let's take a look at a few things Gon isn't. He is not a superpowered being from an alien race. He is not the possessor of any kind of innate magic. He is not the ancestor of any kind of great deity. He is not the chosen one, nor the subject of any kind of great prophecy. What I'm getting at here...
Pause.
He's the son of one of the best hunters in the world.
He has the potential to rival Meruem and the chairman. Luffy is none of those things. I see how you skipped over that. Jonathan, Joseph, none of those things. Jotaro, I guess it was kind of destiny that it's like you're my grandfather's body, but again, Let's just go run through all the JoJo protags. None of them are those. But again, Gon, right here, right now, is stomping any normal human.
And any normal hunter prospect. And then once he gets Nin, he's one of 2 people that ever hit Hisoka in the tournament. One of 2.
Him and Killua are comparable to each other. Killua walked into a room of hunter prospects with Nin and wrecks all of them. That's how far above he is a normal person. So doesn't that sound like an unfair advantage?
Well, Killua definitely had an unfair advantage. It's about Gon, though.
But like I said, they're comparable. So I believe Gon could do that. Maybe not with the speed because of the god speed and electricity and all that. But he could do something of comparable because it's just a bunch of bums.
He was having fun with the chairman for hours trying to catch that ball. Other people wouldn't have gotten close. Other just became hunter people would not have gotten close.
Is that from the outset of Hunter x Hunter, Gon is just Gon. Just a regular kid. Now don't get me wrong, he's an extremely resourceful regular kid with strength and speed and stamina that definitely go beyond the average human being, but he's practically dwarfed.
That's Luffy.
Yeah. Luffy said even with his devil fruit, he never beat Ace.
Without a devil fruit. We're talking about Luffy here. It's not deconstruction. We got a direct counter to him.
Being, but he's practically dwarfed in power by nearly every character he encounters.
No, he's not. Until Hisoka, he was beating everybody easily. In that tower arc, who did he encounter that was just like, oh, probably not going to beat them? The spinny top dude and Hisoka.
And other than that, they ran through it at record speed. Why is he showing somebody that he easily beat?
He easily beat this dude.
And once he figured like, okay, I got my way around this spinny top dude, no problem.
He picked up his Fisher rod and was like, that's no issue.
The teacher was just like, this kid that I'm training is a 1 in 1,000 talent. And then here comes Gon the Kid. We're like, oh, they're 1 in 1,000,000. Okay, well, what about that kid's hard work and training and all that?
Doesn't matter.
It's just that doesn't matter.
Especially within the first couple of episodes. More telling than this is Gon's win-loss rate over the course of the show. Normally, a shonen protagonist will win around 90 to 95% of their battles.
Pause.
You don't.
What are you basing this on?
Yeah, I don't understand that one.
Who did Goku beat in Dragon Ball, really?
He didn't really beat Vegeta. He had help.
He didn't really beat Raditz. He died, and Piccolo really did that.
Mm-hmm. So, no Raditz, no Vegeta. He beat Nappa. He definitely beat Nappa. He stomped Nappa.
Ginyu Force?
Yep. The 3 Ginyu members. 2. Well, he could have beat Jace, but Jace ran away.
So we're up to 3. Frieza.
Yeah. Yeah, he beat Frieza.
He didn't fight anybody up until Cell. And he didn't beat Cell.
You're correct.
He could have beat Boo, but he didn't, so that
Correct.
doesn't count.
Mm-hmm.
Kid Boo, I guess, Spirit Bomb, does that count?
Because that's everybody's energy.
All right. He didn't beat Beerus. He beat Frieza. Sure, we're going to count that. We're up to 5 people.
I think Vegeta beat him, and then Goku just kind of got the killing blow.
We're counting that as a
After
half.
time.
We're counting as a half. We're at 4.5.
Okay.
Didn't beat Hit. Botamo? Are we counting Botamo?
I guess so. That's a fight.
We're up to 5.5 people that he has defeated definitively.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't beat anybody in Goku Black.
No.
And a bunch of bums in the tournament. So he's beaten 5.5 people in some, 400 plus episodes? Come on!
Before Jaya, I'm going through Luffy. Beat Alvita. He beat Koro. He beat Don Krieg. He beat Arlong. Didn't beat Smoker. After that, when he tied with Zoro. He lost to Croc twice and then beat him. That's before Skypiea. Who did Naruto beat? Gaara?
And again,
Some sound dude that nobody gives it. Oh, Kiba. He beat Kiba.
oh, what an accomplishment. How were these fights won? Was it just a stomp fest or
Kiba.
were they hard fought battles?
Haku, Kiba, Gaara. That's part one of Naruto. That's who he beat. Neji. Haku, Gaara, Neji, Kiba.
Uh-oh. Well, I guess he would have blown Sasuke in if they had clashed.
We're not going a bunch of ifs and whats and halves.
Yeah.
Who did Ichigo beat? He got ran by Renji.
90 to 95%.
Renji tore that man a new butthole immediately.
90 to 95%.
Byakuya?
Kenpachi.
He beat Kenpachi.
No, didn't they have a fight first and then he came back? Or
No. He just met up with Kenpachi and he beat him. Gin pushed his in, and then closed the gate.
He freaking main villain
Aizen.
one fingered his sword. It's what you not even, you nothing. Well, this is embarrassing for you. Everybody's watching, dude. You sure you want to do this? 90 to 95%.
Who did Gon not beat? Hisoka.
Oh no!
The spinny top dude, but he beat him later. So right out Hisoka. I guess if you want to count the dude that put the trank in his neck in the hunter exam.
No.
Well, that's not really a fight, so we're not counting that.
Do we count the hunter exam where you fought that ninja and he's just like, I'm gonna break all your arms and legs, and he's like, well, do it, and then the dude quit? Is that a win or a loss?
It's a victory for Gon.
Alrighty then.
I don't see how that could be construed as a loss.
I mean, he
won.
wasn't stronger or better than
He
him.
absolutely wasn't. But Luffy wasn't stronger than Croc.
All right.
Naruto definitely wasn't stronger than Gaara.
90 to 95.
I don't. You think Ichigo was stronger than Kenpachi?
Up until their final fight, Jonathan was getting his pushed in constantly by Dio. They had this was me and the Brick kids had done a Jeopardy, and I had all JoJo questions, and one of the JoJo questions was how many times did Dio and Jonathan fight, and they fought 7-8 times.
And each time.
And each time, the boxing match, the match in the mansion, all this stuff, he's just getting destroyed. 90 to 95%. That's how many times typical Shonen Pro tags are winning. This is a fact that is a guesstimate. 90 to 95%. This is a fact. Somewhere in that range is 100% fact.
This is a horrible ratio right now. We are 6.5 minutes into this video.
This is a monstrous ratio.
This is awful.
Don't make your main character lose very often if you want your viewer to feel powerful. But I'd say at best, Gon's maybe victorious in 50, maybe 55% of his fights. So
that is a low number, my guy.
It really is.
I wouldn't go any lower than 70. And that's just
And
not
we're
even
not
off the
even
top.
counting the tournament where they're literally running through floors and floors of people.
I mean, one-on-one fights or roughly one-on-one fights. And I'm not going off the top of my head counting it off. I would not say less than 70. Just in my heart, I wouldn't say that.
Well, for one thing, it frees the character of Gon from being any kind of archetypical hero. He doesn't need to be, and practically never is, the most powerful character on screen. This
Yes, he
Neither is Luffy. Neither is Luffy. Luffy, from day one, it's like the Shichibukai or some of the strongest fighters in the sea. You're not there. Yonko, you don't even try it. So I wouldn't say the same for Luffy. I wouldn't say the same for Ichigo.
I wouldn't say the same for Yusuke.
Definitely not Yusuke. I can only think of one time where I would definitively go he was the strongest person in the room at that moment. Other times he just got lucky or poured his literal life into his fists.
Jonathan, no.
No.
Joseph, no.
No. Naruto, no. Who are we talking about? Late game, these people become some of the strongest people in the room, if not the strongest in the room. But through half to 80% of the series, they are not the strongest.
But even if he's just going at a certain point, they're the strongest. We got Gon. Be going, I need all the power that I ever will. And then Pito going, he rivals Meruem and the Chairman, who are the strongest at this point. So that breaks apart. So either it's they need to be strongest all throughout, and that doesn't track, or they need to be strongest at one point, and Gon is the strongest at one point. So either way, it's
or
flawed.
Amongst the strongest at the very least.
Or either way, it's flawed. So non-point.
This in turn just lets Gon be Gon. He's not a superhero to save the world. He's not the boy foretold of in legend. He's not going.
Luffy does not want to save the world. He doesn't give a about the world. So you can stop that right there. Jonathan wanted to save the world. Ichigo, no, he wanted to rescue Rukia and then protect his friends. Joseph definitely didn't. Naruto wanted to be Hokage. That's got nothing to do with the world. Yusuke, please! He didn't even want to be Spirit Detective. He, every time, it's just, I gotta do this bush. Until somebody threatened his friends. Me, no. Mm-mm.
So I always like when somebody just brings up this thing and we just go, well, but what about this, and this?
Going to bring the land to a new era of peace, but what he is just about one of the most likable little fuckers you're ever likely to meet. He loves making friends, he loves adventure, he meets all his problems head on with an upbeat attitude, but also he's vulnerable. There's moments when he's afraid and doubts himself, but he never falls into the angst-ridden escapades of Naruto or Ichigo.
He absolutely did when he went, shut that kid up or I'm gonna kill her.
Luffy. We're back to Luffy.
He absolutely exhibited fear. Everybody run. We cannot fight these guys.
We out this bit.
And then everybody gets thrown away. And he goes, I'm so f***ing weak. I couldn't save a single one of them.
This is not unique to him.
This is not unique to Gon. There's a lot of people that walk in with upbeat attitudes. Even Goku walks into fights with upbeat attitudes, stretching and stuff. But he also exhibits fear. But he doesn't go or angsty or anything.
Calls up in a ball and just
whines
and complains.
The one time I remember him getting angsty is when Krillin died and he turned Super Saiyan. Other than that, what do you got? And again, Gon did the same thing. He wasn't even thinking rationally. That's how angsty he was about Kite. You got 1 hour to fix this kid, and then I'm gonna beat your shit if you don't fix Kite.
When he lost to Knuckle and had to watch them go off, he was crying.
What was even the point of that if Killua and Gon could just go anyway?
They had to meet up with Palm and Something.
What was the point of Biscuit going, if you can't do this, you can never hang around Gorn again because you're going to get him killed. And then Kilo One goes, I'm going to go with Gorn forever. I'm going to be by his side.
No. Don't you remember the whole thing was you're going to run away and leave him. And then what did he do? Whoop, boom. Took away that fear.
But that's not what it was. She said, if you can't beat that dude, you got to go away from Gorn.
Yeah, because you're going to run away and leave him to die.
Mm-hmm. But he didn't beat the dude.
Yeah, but he did. He got rid of that runaway thing.
But he didn't beat the dude. But that was the promise.
He didn't. He's not running away anymore because he's not afraid anymore. Yeah. Because he is no longer controlled to be afraid.
He's often forced to deal with the fact that he's nowhere near powerful enough to solve situations with brute force alone. But through this, we see him developing his own solutions and his own unique style of problem solving and dealing with conflict. Above all else, Gon is a wellspring of positivity, and in a way, he's nearly a representation of what's good about people. He's trusting and he's kind and he's always willing to give someone a chance, which makes it so hard to watch when things don't go his way, which they often don't. What I'm getting at here is that Gon does not exist as a power fantasy for the viewer to inhabit. He doesn't need to win every fight because that's not what the show's about. It's not trying to make you feel the way
Okay, the thing about shonen is, it's less that people want power fantasy, but they want to see the heroes overcome strong people. Mm-hmm. So if the hero loses, they want to see the hero come back and get strong enough to beat that person. Yusuke lost against a super weak demon. And then he put a stick in his mouth and blew his off. Lucky win. That was literally it. But people want Yusuke to beat him. People want Yusuke to beat Toguro. Not because they want Yusuke to be the strongest, but because of the journey he's gone on, you want him to win. You want your pro tag to win. Eventually. They don't have to win every fight. They can get their stomped in super early, and then you want them to come back and have that redemption arc of beating the person that beat them before. That way, when Ichigo gets pushed in by Renji, and then he comes and beats Renji later on, you go, yes, Ichigo. Not because Ichigo is now the strongest, but because he had his redemption.
But then that breaks apart when you look at Gon and him just going, how is he going to beat Pito? Oh, just by summoning all the power that he's ever had.
Just get the power straight from the air.
Straight, no problems. Oh no, Gon is messed up now. Okay, now he's healed. Hooray!
It's not trying to make you feel the way 90% of other shonen animes do.
90
it is, in fact,
hard
trying to convey
90.
to you something.
What's that other 10%?
What about... I was just about to say it. It has to be this. Sports manga. It's got to be. Because Senna in Ice Shield was not the strongest. He was a super weak kid that just happened to know how to run fast because he was bullied all his life, so he learned how to run and cut through crowds. And then one dude just goes, I'm going to bully you into joining the team. And then I'm going to stick you with the Ice Shield 21 moniker because there's a super famous Ice Shield 21 over in America right now, and people are going to think you're it. Okay, then. That's literally it. Ippo, not the strongest. He was super strong in his fifth, but not the strongest. He already lost, spoilers, he's already lost like 3-4 times, and he's retired now. It's gotta be sports manga.
It's gotta be.
Or stuff like Death Note.
Entirely different. It's a story about characters, about friendship and adventure, but also about loss and how harsh the world can be, and how even the best of us have our breaking points. Gon's great because in a lot of ways, he's not the hero, and there's moments in the show when he does decidedly unhero-like things.
Yeah,
even to a point where I began to question.
And that's terrible, and makes me dislike him so much. Mm-hmm. There's no point for him to be that irrational. Point blank. Period.
No, that was legitimately awful. I don't need my heroes to always just be because Yusuke wasn't.
He said something
does
rational.
Yusuke does very unhero like things, and he said, "I don't give a if you a woman, a grandfather, you go against me, I'm gonna push your in."
If Luffy had been like, I don't give a fight to the last breath at Shaba Odi, I was like, oh, what the is
I would
going
have
on?
really disliked Luffy.
But he
Everybody bum rushed the admiral.
Let's get him. We can do this, you guys. But he saw the situation and went, oh no.
He saw Usopp and Brook trying their best against Kizaru, who didn't give a about what was going on, about to kill Zoro, and then Zoro gets blown away, and he goes, "We'll figure it out. Everybody run for now."
I trust you guys to run good enough. 3 days, meet back up. We'll figure it out. But if he had just gone, no, we can do this, that would have just soured me so much. Because they clearly couldn't. But going sitting here just shaking with rage, going fix him. This dude that is you have no relationship with. That's the biggest issue for me.
Such a minute relationship. I understand people can have a hard, a really quick relationship, really hard
with somebody.
Yes,
yeah.
But at this level, to the point where a kid is getting fixed up, and you go, I don't care. I'm gonna blow your in right now, to where your best friend has to go on. We need her to fix.
Think about this for a quarter of a second,
and then he goes, "You can say that, Killua. You can be calm because this ain't your problem." What a piece of crap!
What a terrible
friend! What a terrible person in that moment! Terrible! It's not good!
I don't see why he would make you want to feel like that about you, other than the fact of deconstruction. He's no longer happy-go-lucky. I don't see why you would go,
it's not even a deconstruction. It's a subversion.
I want my audience to feel this way about this character. I want them to dislike them. Why? Just to show how dark the world can get and how it can change a happy-go-lucky kid into a ... whatever. Okay, is it good? Is it logical? You did the switch. You did the subversion. Is it good? Is it logical? It is not logical, nor is it good.
What I don't want good characters or protags or whatever that are usually good people to suddenly become shitty people. I love when a typically shitty person shows they're actually a good person. But I don't want the reverse of that. Because now all I can think of is you in this moment. How can I ever think of Gon being just a good person, helping people out, blah, 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 when he's willing to kill a person who's trying to help somebody else?
When he's willing to kill the person that was just being helped. For no reason.
For his own sense of revenge. I can't think of Gon after this moment as anything but that person. No matter how good he seems, I know that's always in him.
That's the subversion. That's the flip. That's the turn.
But it's always in him. So is he really a good person, or is this him?
Yeah, that's what makes him good. You got to think about that. How far is he willing to go to get his own sense of justice and right and wrong and what he wants? He's willing to kill a little girl because his friend was killed.